when I was a Playmate. There were no videos. I was so nervous having to be naked for this special, and been promised that none of it would show. This is when I said, I'm really nervous about the cameras in here, in the bathtub. He said, don't worry about it. It's all for family hour. It'll all on the cutting room floor. But then later, a friend saying, oh, I saw your video. I'm like, what video? And that's when they turned around and used that footage on the cutting room floor. Gonna be happening, not paying me for it. And that was soft porn. And they had made me a porn star against my will.
Playboy channel was officially launched November 15th. I think it is going to be increasingly, certainly adult, but also tastefully done. I think the best basis for judging it is the magazine itself in the 30 years we've been publishing.
In the 80s, cable had come up, and all of a sudden, now Playmates have to do a video. And we're like, what do you mean you have to do a video?
I was very concerned about the women that were doing these videos. But the reality is, once you sign that release, you are no longer in control. And Hefner was the one in control of your image. When I was director of Playmate Promotions, I wanted to reach out and try to get these gals into some key positions in modeling. For example, there was one particular Playmate who was very special to me. I don't want to pinpoint her name. I could see in her incredible possibilities. I wanted her to be an herbal essence girl with Clairol. I had big ideas. I got her an appointment with several different people and took her to New York and tried to help her make a transition. Unfortunately, it was impossible. The companies did not want the Playmate image with her products. Because she was a Playmate, it cut her right there. She was already dead in the water. Playboy had become too explicit. The stigma was way too much. As director of Playmate Promotions, I had a front seat into the lives of many women, and I could see the damage that happened. There were many Playmates that trusted me, and I would say to them, do not go to the mansion. There's nothing good that's going to come from it.
Something about Playboy was like sandpaper. I would go up to the mansion. It's like when you have that feeling in your gut that something's not right, but you can't put your finger on it. I got the red flags, but I was too young to understand what they were.
When's your big month? When are we gonna see you?
I'm not really sure yet. They haven't really picked them up yet.
There were all these Playmates all under one roof and, shooting to become Playmate of the Year. But to do that, these girls knew they had to wait.
The system is set up that we're gonna pay $15,000 for the centerfold, but we're gonna pay you in 3 intervals. When you get finished shooting, when you get published, and 1 year from your publishing date.
It was $5,000 when your pictorial came out. I think another $2,500 when you were done with your video.
They give it to you $5,000 here, $2,500 here. They drag it out because you have to fulfill your duty before you get it all.
They paid you over 2 years. That's like below poverty level. I mean, it's nothing when you think about it.
You couldn't do anything without their permission. Like if you were trying to make money off yourself, that was a no-no.
While you're waiting for the paycheck, you play at the mansion. And you meet Hef and you politic to be Playmate of the Year, or you politic to stay current.
In the 80s, there was a lot of partying. It was party central.
I think every girl in the mansion, say you're expected to be at the party, you had to be part of their scene. It's like, well, Hef's gonna want you to do that, or Hef's gonna be disappointed, that sort of thing.
I mean, drugs and alcohol were accepted, at the Playboy mansion, the Playboy parties. Anybody that is put in that situation, it can get out of hand.
Because I wanted to stay thin, I would do, the occasional cocaine. And I'd never, ever, ever dreamed that I would do that.
At the mansion, there was a sense of everyone likes drugs and everyone likes to share them. I didn't start the heavy drugs until after Playboy. I lost all my teeth. I mean, you have to take a lot of drugs to do this to yourself. So that was a lot of cocaine.
I think that drugs definitely played a major role in controlling and manipulating these women. Whenever you step into the Playboy mansion and you're a new female on the scene, basically you're introduced to my father. He was Hefner's best friend and doctor to all the playmates, who of course would then, make sure that you were weighed in on a regular basis and make sure that they were that perfect weight.
By the time I was 20, I weighed 90 pounds and ended up in the hospital. It was really hard, and it took a lot of therapy to go back to regular eating.
There are a lot of girls, they were fresh off the farm, and they felt like they had made it. And yet those same girls, months later, would go home a skeleton, just a mere shadow of themselves. Happened to me. This picture, I was skin and bones.
The pull of that mansion and his power was just way too much for most. And once they're hooked on drugs, they're no longer in control. And when they ended up hitting rock bottom, Hefner was not going to give them support. Specifically, the girl that I really thought was going to bridge the gap into the modeling industry. She just kept spiraling, and she became addicted to cocaine. She was so thin that she looked like she could die at any time. Her teeth were gray. She needed help. And I didn't want her thrown away. I wanted to save her. And damn it, she was worth saving. I was told, you're not to go and give her groceries. You're not to pay her rent. She got herself in that mess, and Hefner doesn't want anything to do with it. Can you imagine that? After all the money he made off of that girl, and he didn't even want to feed her. Shame on that son of a.
And what did you do?
I did it anyway. I begged her to go back home, and she did it. I almost got fired several times for doing what I did.
Years ago when I was at the house, at the mansion, Hef told me that to be careful because Mickey was crazy and dangerous. He didn't want the girls talking to her because she was stirring up trouble. She was pointing things out that he didn't want pointed out. And he was losing control.
I had become mother confessor to many women, and I felt the responsibility, but I realized I was fighting a losing battle. I could not handle it anymore. When I left Playboy in 1982, I didn't think the situation could get any worse, but it did. I had worked hard to change the way that Playmate Promotions handled their women, how they made sure that they had safety, that anytime anything happened, they were able to report it. It wasn't an easy job. Many of the executives, they were only interested in protecting Playboy and Hugh Hefner. Like Valerie Cragen with the Playboy Model Agency.
At first, Valerie Cragen kind of took care of me. She taught me a lot because I came from a small town, and so like she would take me shopping and she would take me to nice restaurants, and I learned proper etiquette. She was kind to me and she made sure that I got work. But certain girls were getting a hell of a lot more work. I was like, how in the hell are you getting that much work?
Valerie Cragen was a pimp for Hugh Hefner. She and I went at it a lot. The Playboy modeling agency was a place where women could be invited to the mansion for the parties. I didn't want any part of it. 1982, after I left Playboy, Valerie Cragen took over the Playmate Promotions department. And at that point in time, it became what I considered flesh peddling.
Valerie Cragen was head of Playmate Promotions when I began. Playmate Promotions, those were the girls who went out and they signed autographs and did all that. There was good money there, so this was my income. The first few years of promotions were rough. They started doing some stuff with casinos. They would fly us in with the high rollers and we'd do little fashion shows. And then they'd say, go on down and gamble with the high rollers. The guys were kind of like, well, which ones do this and which girls do that? It was like they were pimping us out a little bit.
And did you see Playmates go up in the elevator with the high rollers?
Oh, yeah. I had a Playmate I was rooming with. I was back in my bed and two guys held the door open and she just stood there and she changed her clothes halfway in the hall and there's $100 bills literally flying all over the place. And I'm thinking, boy, she worked hard for those last night.
There was this one trip to Atlantic City for Playmate Promotions. It was like 20 guys. They wanted to take a picture with us in this hot tub. And he said, get in here, I paid for you. Really, as if we were prostitutes. And it was gross, you know, it was gross.
When I was working for Playmate Promotions, I was sent out to do a job which turned out to be non-existent. I was actually just being sent there to go on a date. So I flew to Texas to do this big truck calendar for this guy who owned oil companies. And I showed up and then I realized, nuh-uh, this is not real. I remember barricading myself in the room and putting the chair underneath the door. I called Playboy and I was like, you got to get me out of here. This isn't real. This isn't happening. It was Valerie Cragen on the other end of the line saying, first, Valerie Cragen says, oh my gosh, let me look into it. And then she calls me back and says, what we're understanding is that the client is very upset with you because you are the one who has acted inappropriately.
Valerie Cragen, boy, she was an incredible manipulator. She knew everybody's business, where they were, what they would do. She made my skin crawl.
As Playmates, we get put in situations that are almost impossible to get out of without conceding.
Playboy was dangerous to women. Playboy ruined women's lives. And I was going to stop it any way I could.
나를 위한 시간 라이프타임